Okay, so today we are getting ready for Easter in about a week and a half. And the kids will all be home. Alana's mom, Jody, will be with us. And Paul's parents are coming over for
for
brunch.
a little brunch. Yeah.
So we're going to have some healthy, items, different egg bakes that are more healthier than, some of our other ones that we make.
Are we going to do a gluten-free one or not?
We will,
Do a gluten-free.
With some vegetables and
a
things.
Vegetarian, so we'll have all kinds of selections.
So one of the things that we're going to make today, which is not as healthy, but it's really good, is a blueberry kind of a crumb coffee cake. Okay, so I am going to have you start by sifting my ingredients, okay?
Right.
So we are going to have 4 cups of flour. You might want to just add part of that at a time.
It's
whatever is easiest.
full little bowl here.
Okay, so 4 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and about a half teaspoon of salt. Okay, so you're going to put all those in there, and while you're doing those dry ingredients, I'm going to mix a half a cup of oil and 2 eggs.
I knew it. I knew I couldn't get by without putting something on the table. That's just who I am.
And 1.5 cups of sugar. So I'm going to take a whisk and I'm going to whisk in these ingredients.
Okay.
This is really a pretty easy coffee cake, which I made recently when we had some catering jobs in the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
Because I make a lot of the, kind of the same things.
I'm going to clean up my mess here.
Okay.
That's really sounding good.
It's always nice to make something a little bit different. Okay, I cracked those first 2 together, and then the second egg I cracked on the table because if you crack your egg like on the side of your bowl, you could possibly get some eggshells in there. Okay,
yep.
So we're going to just whisk this together. And just get in there and do a nice job of whisking. Oh, and the one thing I forgot is we need 1 cup of milk.
I'll get that.
So if you want to grab that, that's the only thing I forgot. And we're going to add the flour and the milk alternating, like 1/3 of the flour, 1/2 of the milk, and until it's all incorporated. I'm just going to take this. Okay, so I'm going to start by just adding in about 1/3 of the flour.
When do you want the milk in?
Get rid of that. Okay, so we're going to put in 1/2 of the milk here.
Right now?
No, just 1 second, please. Okay, so you alternate. So we're going to do 1/3 of the flour and then 1/2 cup of milk. You can fill the whole thing when you first start.
But just pour about half in.
Right. We're just going to stir that up like that. Okay, so you can fill your cup and then just pour about 1/2 of it in. Okay.
Like so.
I'm going to stir that. A lot of the cakes that I make, the one that has the cherry breakfast bars and the blueberry breakfast bars, are a little bit similar like this when you add the flour mixture and.
Another third
Okay, so
or
about
the rest
another,
of it?
nope, so about another 1/3 again.
Okay. And then the milk after you stir?
Right, and then the last 1/3.
Okay.
So you haven't made these yet, have you?
I have not. I'm usually busy making soups or lasagnas or other hot foods while you're busy making the desserts, so I don't get a chance very often to watch this.
Okay, and I can add the milk. That gets pretty stiff, which is okay.
Now, could you do this in a mixer at all, electric mixer, or you just don't do that? with
I
this cake?
just don't do it. I mean, it wants you just to whisk, those first ingredients, and I mean, you could. if you wanted to, I
Do you
suppose.
need help stirring this last batch, or are you going to do it all?
You can stir this, and then when you get that stirred, then we're going to fold in about 2 cups of blueberries.
Okay.
Grab a rag here.
Oh, there I go again, spilling. It's my signature. Make sure you spill a little flour on the table. It's actually good luck.
I think that's salt over your shoulder,
Actually,
I think.
I just made that up.
Yeah.
I think it's
I'm
not
going to
at all.
let you
So I
take
scrape
take
it down
that,
a little
scrape
bit.
that, yeah, down the sides and on the spoon, and then we're going to fold in the berries.
So this is mixed well enough now?
Yes.
Okay.
You only want to mix it until it's just
So it's
mixed.
just
right.
mixed. Okay, and that's
Okay,
where we're
but that's
at.
good. Okay.
Okay. And now you want
And then we're going to fold in those berries. So you can take your spoon
which
again.
will I stir
Take
with
your
the
spoon. Right. Yep.
Okay. You want to hold this in?
Okay.
Just fold them in, so you don't want to crush them too much, I suppose, right?
Right. So especially like with the blueberries, nice fresh berries you're going to want, because then they won't crush and they're not going to, break down when it's in your cake. Whereas if that's good. If your blueberries are getting a little bit soft, then you're going to have kind of a mess. Okay. So what we're going to do before we put this pan over here,
Good idea.
we're just going to move this all over.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay, now you're going to just
so what have you
put-
done to prep the pan?
Oh, okay. So we have floured this.
Okay.
Or first I put shortening on it and greased
And
it,
then you
and then
grease it.
flour. Okay,
Grease
and then
and flour.
tap out the flour to prevent it from sticking
And we're just gonna.
and being able to get it out nicely too.
And what are we just gonna level this
So
off?
you're gonna
then?
level this. Got a knife here. So some of the other things that our kids like for Easter, we've always kind of had an Easter tradition where we've hidden the Easter, baskets. The Easter bunny comes, hides the baskets. But we probably won't do that this year, only because we're not sure exactly what
Who's coming
the
at what
hour
time
our
and how
kids
long
are
can
coming.
they stay?
Right, yeah. So the Easter bunny might have to just bring some bags of candy and maybe put in a coffee
A gift card. or something.
card of some sort, or
Yeah.
so the kids can shop or go out for coffee. Of course, their favorites are always the Reese's Easter eggs and peanut butter eggs, things
They're
like
actually- Yeah, they're actually mine too.
that, which you often don't get because the kids get all these
Yeah.
great candies
I
and
get whatever falls on the floor. If it won't fit in their gift bags, and I get the leftovers. Which
right.
The only way to achieve that is to get a larger bag of candy from the store. Okay. Spread it out.
Yes.
The idea?
Yes. And I'm just going to get a little bit more out of this pan.
I didn't do so well at that part. And just
That
spread it
scraper that we have that has a much harder edge is easier to get this scraped out.
out. See what you mean by these blueberries. Except one there just kind of broke, but otherwise
Yeah.
they're holding together fairly well.
And you don't need to flatten it. You know how I like to keep
keep it
things
light.
just kind of light,
Light and fluffy.
Okay, so as you're kind of taking care of that, then the streusel part that I'm going to do in the food processor. First time I actually made this, I did the streusel by hand, which I always used to. I mix it with your fingers until it's just the right consistency.
Right? But now you're using
This time I decided to use the food processor. Okay, so we are going to take 2/3 cup of flour, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then we're going to take 1 stick of butter, and we're going to just cut this into some, pieces so that it can
So it doesn't need to be
process
frozen.
nicely.
Some recipes, like when I do scones, I have frozen butter. This does not need to be frozen.
No.
Okay, just keep
And
it.
it actually says soft. If you were working with your hands, you might want it a little softer, but then we're just going to turn it on.
Okay.
And you want it to be just nice little, not pea size, but just
But crumbles.
crumbles.
Okay.
And then
you're just going to sprinkle that on top?
right,
then?
right.
How's that?
And I think that's good. And if you don't think it's crumbled quite enough, then you can just process it a little bit more. But that looks
So is that okay?
really good.
All right.
So we're just going to take that off. Okay. And then you can just, I always like to do that so I don't get that all over the place.
Right.
And then we're just going to sprinkle this around. There's a couple pieces of butter that didn't quite get processed, so you can just kind of mix those in as you're doing this. Yeah, with pie crust too, I've always just mixed my pie crusts by hand, not
And so you got
using
this food processor.
one of those
That is-
pastry. Well, with the pie crust though, I still
You
always
still do that by hand?
mix that all by hand, yeah. But the food processor saves a lot of time. The flour isn't quite mixed in there, so you just kind of mix that all together.
Okay.
And I was kind of impressed how
That is-
easy this worked out. Sometimes when you have more than just a simple process of like a one step, where you're putting it in your dish, you think it's a little bit too time consuming, but not really. So we are going to bake this in a 375 degree oven for 45 minutes.
Okay.
All right. While you do that, I'm going to go wash my hands.
Okay.
Easter isn't, like I said, a little over a week away. And I've discovered that these freeze really nicely. So it's nice being able, let me grab a knife here.
Nice to make it ahead.
Nice to be able to get
Or
some of
2
the
weeks whenever you got
things,
some
yes,
spare
made,
time.
made ahead.
Right.
You can cut them as large as you want. I would probably cut them in 4
For the long way.
rows.
And what?
And then
8
probably
the other?
about 8 the other. It all depends. If you're having a lot of different items for your brunch, you don't want to have a really large piece, maybe,
Right.
because we might have some other breads.
Right. I know we had one event where you had them cut quite large.
Yeah, and that was a little bit too big. So I'm just going to cut them about
That size?
this size. And since I know you're still not eating a whole lot of this with Lent, being on and everything, I'm just going to cut this then in half again.
Ooh.
So then we'll just share that
Okay.
and see how that is. We could almost put more blueberries in there,
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you wanted to, but
So use like a pint. Use 2 cups
Right,
of
two
blueberries.
cups,
You could use
maybe about a
2.5, 3 cups for something
yeah,
this size.
if you wanted more.
Depends how many blueberries you want in it.
And if you
Okay.
really like the
So
crumb
it's delicious.
topping, you could actually,
Make
even
that heavier and
double
thicker
that
too,
too.
sure.
So
Okay.
I love
so-
crumb toppings,
And we have the corner piece. And
which you kind of like.
this is like the bonus. This is a jackpot.
My mouth is watering. If you really wanted to add something to it, you could have some whipped cream, just a dollop of whipped cream.
I was just
give
going
it,
to say
you know,
that. A dollop
Maybe
of whipped
even some
cream
extra fresh
and a hot cup of coffee.
blueberries on the side. Then you're all set to go.
I think that'd be a great
Okay.
idea. I think it's terrific.
So we've got one
Thank
thing
you.
done, well actually 2 pans done for Easter. So
Good.
now we'll think about the next food items that we're going to be making.
Right.
So, okay, we're one step
maybe,
ahead.
Maybe ham. Why not have an Easter ham?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll try that. I'll go look for one.
Okay,
Okay.
so I think this is about it for the day.
Okay.
So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Maybe this will help you with your Easter planning. So until next time, happy cooking. Looking good.
I got my green on.
I don't.
And you don't. Yeah, you do. You have a tag, right? Right here.
Don't,
There's a little tag right in there. It's green. I wasn't trying to do anything.
you're crushing.
I'm crushing you. You're crushing my
Ready?
spirit. Just stay right there. Stay right there while we prep.